नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी मुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते आदयन्तर्हिते देवी आदय शक्ति महेश्वरी योगजे योग संभूते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते स्थूल सूक्ष्म महारौद्री महाशक्ति महोदरी महापाप हरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते पद्मासन स्थिते देवी परब्रह्म स्वरूपिणी परमेशी जगन्माता महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते श्वेतांबर धरे देवी नानालंकार भूषिते जगत् स्थिते जगन्माता महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी
What's good people? It is November 6th, Tuesday. It's early in the morning, and we're talking about some astrology, spirituality, psychology, tarot once again. Just happy to be here. Happy that everybody's here to join me. Even if nobody here is to join me, I feel like these messages lately have been for particular individuals. So is this message for everybody? I would hope so. But the reality is everybody ain't ready for healing. Everybody ain't ready to communicate. Everybody ain't ready to evolve. Everybody not ready to level up. You know what they say, right? Ignorance is bliss. And so a lot of people rather stay in that blissful state. Peace, Janae. How are you this morning? You know you one of my favorites. Yeah, so it's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful time to be alive, and I just want to speak on some specific energy regarding the astrology. Then I want to talk about these cards of the day. That's a fact. Yeah, people not ready to understand energy, and what I mean by energy is like, people swear that getting rims and putting speakers and whatever you want to do, drip out your car, just make it look beautiful, is going to get it going. No, the only thing that gets your car moving is gas, and gas is an actual element though, which coincides with air, meaning that what keeps us going, what keeps us fueling is gas, not our appearance. We need to work on our gap in our internal system. So it's like we doing well. It's just really pushing forward, you know what I'm saying, and pushing forward with proper energy and knowing what gas is good versus the gas that's gonna fuck our car up. And you know, this is very important. So much of life is what we eat that is kind of crazy that we eat so foul. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could really level up in life by choosing to eat correctly, choosing to drink correctly. Me personally, I could drink more water than I have been drinking, you know, because it matters, as opposed to, you know, doing shit or talking about shit that don't matter, that won't affect you. So today is Tuesday. We dealing with Mars. If you aren't new to my channel, we deal with planets esoterically, and esoterically you have to look in the etymology of what these words mean, what these words symbolize. They didn't call this planet Mars for nothing. Mars had a particular frequency, a particular code that radiates amongst the populace. When we speak of law of attraction, when we speak of anything regarding magic, when we speak of anything regarding manipulating the reality for it to look how we want it to look, we talking about Mars. And it could be as simple as putting on a shirt, you know. Like before I put on this shirt, like I was looking crazy. My tank top got holes on it. It ain't a cute shirt, but I had to use my electromagnetic frequency to think like, let me transform the way I look and put on a shirt, and people will look at me differently. It can be that subtle, or it could be advanced to the point of changing my reality to the point where it's like, I see myself as a mogul. I see myself as, you know, a billionaire, putting people on and making sure that everybody eating, and, you know, making sure my tribe is together. Like, this is where my mind is at. Like, I'm not even to the point where, like, I'm personally good. I've been personally good for a while now. Now I'm just thinking of different ways I can begin to help people. That's a level. Most people don't ever reach that level. Is 58-year-old men and women selfish as the day is long. Don't give a shit about nobody or nothing. You know, old as hell with hella resources, knowledge, capabilities, abilities, all types of shit. But they ain't gonna tell your ass. They gonna go to bingo, play the lottery, and go back home. And you know what I'm saying? The younger generation out this bitch scratching our head trying to figure it out, and we watching these old niggas drive by in new Escalades every year. Like, what the fuck is going, like, you know what I'm saying? Where we're at is a generation of no guidance. And maybe you had all the guidance in the world. Your parents were awesome. Your peers, though, don't share that sentiment. So when it comes to dating, when it comes to finding a job, when it comes to friends, you're dealing with a bunch of people who have no guidance. And if you want to deal with them on a level where they know what the fuck they doing, see, this is one of the key things that I've learned to, like, realize that really has helped me. One of those things that's really helped me with dealing with people, even the most esteemed, most magical, most majestic, beautiful, smart, intelligent people, they don't know shit really though. Like I pick a person's brain and be like, damn, I had all of these lofty expectations on this union. Come to find out, you a zombie or a clone or a droid or something where you don't even develop or cultivate your own mind. You taking orders from somebody, and that's how you got successful. You successful in taking orders. And now that we dealing with Mars and Aquarius, whether I work here or not, you is not about to make me feel uncomfortable. Whether I'm in a relationship with you or not, you is not about to make me feel uncomfortable. Whether we friends or not, you are not about to make me feel uncomfortable. This is what Mars and Aquarius energy is. Learning how to communicate truth as opposed to not saying shit, or communicating on a level of intelligence. Where YouTube, astrology, like, I wouldn't listen to a person that was under 33 off the, like, you can hear it in the way that they talk. Like, a person that's under 33 even if they are a genius, even if they're a savant, they have no life experience to be projecting anything of any value. Only thing they could project is regurgitation of some shit that they read. And they might have a photographic memory, and they might be beautiful, and they might put words together, and that shit might make you feel good because of the package. But the reality is, to communicate from your heart is a different vibration. It's a different frequency. It's a different way of life. And Mars in Aquarius is trying to teach you this. And it's trying to show you a lot of different things with Jupiter leaving Scorpio, new moon in Scorpio. Like, you need Mars in Aquarius. You need to be communicating based upon the life. Me and my wife, we had a talk yesterday. There's no need for us to speak to the energy that we've already created. We have to continue to create energy. So many times we create things and we accomplish things, and then we stop because we think what we've accomplished is good. But so long, we can soon to realize that what we created is just as bad as the shit that we came from, and we in another hell. You know what I'm saying? So we got to free ourselves from that hell. And it's like, constantly know that all of this shit is going to create hell. Ain't none of it going to serve you. You know, the only thing that begins to serve you, the only thing that begins to cool and calm your soul down is connecting with people under the energy of healing. And if you can't get to this point, you have to really deal with your past. You have to go over your past and really figure out, did the past touch me in a way where I'm moved, or did the past torture me to the place that I'm harmed? And if the past tortured me, then that shit is affecting me now. You have to really understand that, and there's no way around it. There's no way outside of it. We all have events in our lives that we have not learned from that constantly torture us. And if we have not learned from them, it affects us now. If it's shit in your being that you can't talk about because it's going to trigger you and move you to tears, then that shit is affecting you without you saying nothing, without you doing nothing, because you're not communicating. In a sense, you are a sham unto yourself because you refuse to be authentic. Mars and Aquarius in the third decan will not allow you to be inauthentic. But of course, you have free will. You can do whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you, Mars is going into Pisces and is going to be completely debilitated. This is the time to speak. Because if you're not speaking, you're not creating. And if you're not creating, you're allowing other people to create for you. And if you just open your ears for a little bit, my nigga, if you just open your ears a little bit and listen to the radio and listen to these ads that they got about voting, right? Whether you vote or not, you can kind of sense that somebody is trying to tell you about somebody who don't give a fuck about you, that's taking over the whole planet. And if you did not know this, you know now. It ain't a conspiracy no more. Donald Trump is the president, and this shit is getting worse. Niggas is like, do you understand that they have wiped out whole populations in the name of storms? Like I don't want to get into the conspiracy shit, but I could create a whole nother channel with me just going on conspiracy shit alone. You understand what I'm saying? Because what used to be conspiracies be real life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it be too much shit laid out in front of you that if you're not going to examine it, what's the sense? So yeah, we also have Mars actually trining Venus. Venus is conjunct the moon, and we titled this video Ignorance because there are two two distinct ways of life, two distinct ways of being, and two specific causes to those ways of life, and there's no way around it. There's no wiggle room. There's no, oh, but I'm doing it this way. And no, it's it's simple. You know, and it's really based upon freedom and imprisonment. And here we are dealing with our energy. Just because our body is free does not mean that our mind is not on fucking 24-hour-a-day lockdown. And it all coincides with the things that we talked yesterday about the relationships, and the things we talked about Sunday about the relationships, and the things that we're going to talk about tomorrow on Ring and Stone Network about relationships. I need you guys to tune in and call in and support. You know, like if all my listeners can kind of tune in Wednesday at 9 p.m. and, you know, bombard the phone lines and just, you know, be ready to ask questions, be ready to learn. You know what I'm saying? Call up, like listen up, like support some shit. Like 9 p.m. on Wednesday ain't really much going on. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't too much going on. Ain't no football. You know, basketball sucked this year. So, you know, tune in to the Ring and Stone Network. Show me some support. I had a flyer up here tomorrow if you want any information. But if you follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, the flyer is up with the link and all of that. So, with that being said, our minds have to be free. And we do not free our minds outside of knowledge. And do we need to go to college? Do we need to save money? Do we need to understand like some deep, you know, philosophy? No, we can get on YouTube right now with our pen and paper, type what we need to learn, and be sitting there learning some shit. And I don't know, it ain't like everything you want to learn, you could learn on YouTube. Real people doing it, giving you step by step, and you can really apply yourself. Now, if you're on YouTube watching conscious videos about what happened lately in the news, or goddamn interviews with Nature Boy, and then interviews with people that hate Nature Boy, and then act like you leveling up, your mind's still in prison. And this is the shit that's happening on YouTube. I see it. Like, everybody else's life is so important, but what about your own personal life and your own personal development? Are you ignorant to that because your mind is in prison? I think they speak to this like real poignantly in Get Out, where the symbology is like you could get really caught up honoring and paying attention to people who don't have your best interest in mind. You know, it's really crazy how, like, we can live in a world where there's so much knowledge and so much information available at your fingertips, and you choose to cut on a television program that simply entertains you and gets you through the day, when you could be really building energy and information in your being to sustain you. Like anything that you want to do, whether it be traveling the world, whether it be having better, like taking care of your children more holistically, like there is so much different information on the internet, but people watch porn on it too. And it's like, that's cool. Like, you know, like that's like, I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like I've been all through the internet. The internet is like life. But the difference between the internet is like when it comes to those institutions or them colleges, like you can get in. In real life, you can't really get in, you know what I'm saying, like without a whole bunch of money or a whole bunch of debt. But right now, you could take a week and dedicate yourself to learning a subject and be proficient You know what I'm saying? But is you really taking the time, really taking the energy to apply yourself, or you live in this imprisoned space where you're just triggered, or this horrible place where you look in the past and you just tortured, and the past didn't teach you nothing. I feel like why I'm so successful, not like I'm so successful, but why I'm so at peace, why I live in a particular place of joy, is because my past would make you niggas choke. And it doesn't trigger me though. I can talk about it with anybody. I could give you lesson on top of lesson on top of lesson on death. You know what I'm saying? Friendship, love. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things that I was genuine and present in and seeing kind of like it disappear. But then energy never disappears. You can't kill energy. This is what you realize through negative experiences, that energy cannot be shut down, cannot be killed, cannot be destroyed. It can only be transmuted. And if you love that energy, that love never disappears. Physical is an illusion. So we really trying to get a feeling or generate an energy between each other, as opposed to, you know what, you're very handsome, you're very beautiful, etc., etc., etc. Who moves you? Who gets to the core of your being? And you know, you got to get to the core of your being first. You got to be digging out, you know, trying to find that shit first and foremost. And this is sextile Uranus, where the effort that we put into developing our core self, our innermost, is like we can listen to our inner voice. And when we listen to our inner voice, changes happen. If we worry, if we feel in a certain type of way, just relax, calm down, and listen to your inner voice. This is effort. This ain't easy to listen to yourself when everything is a distraction. Everything toward your inner self is anything besides your inner self, cultivating your spirit, your soul, is a distraction, you know. And so if we're going to discuss relief or solution to the energy today, it is found in Mars square Jupiter, which is a transit that we kind of worked through over these past couple weeks. And now it's kind of moving out of squaredom. So it's moving out of a kind of square aspect, and now we kind of can see the lesson in it. This particular healing, this particular communication, these particular freedom provides relief to our stress. I was one of the most stressed out individuals on the planet. Now I'm so at peace and just relaxed in my life and my being, that if you told me right now, we'll give you $1 million for you to be as stressed as you was, you know, all that insomnia and shit, like, bro, I will keep my life the way it is right now, no alteration, because the peace and the, you know what I'm saying, growth, of course, development, of course, that's important to me. More than somebody being like, oh, here goes everything, you don't have to work for it. Like, I realize that now. Maybe why I didn't grow up in a atypical childhood and been to prison and been through all of this shit, like, you know, whatever the case may be, to show me that hard work, patience, endurance is the shit, as opposed to, you know, somebody just placing it in my lap and things of that nature. Like, I don't know, it's just different. And maybe maybe you're not at that space and you still waiting for somebody to give you something, or you think that somebody can give you something based upon you giving them some money. That's why I was like, man, I'll give you $1 reading. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to feel like I'm gonna give you all of this money and then you solve my problems for me, you know? And that's what's crazy. Like, people who have money, they don't even think like that. They'll give you money as a donation, like, cause money ain't shit to them. But it's like certain people will give you money like, okay, now you owe me peace of mind and happiness and joy. And it's like, what you want me to do? 15 cartwheels, a backflip, you know, do the hammer dance, like, you know, give you my sexy look, like whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do? And I got 3 children, a wife, multiple businesses. Like, it's a lot of things that I do. So it's like, you know, why not let's make this thing simple? You know, let's not make this thing complicated. So the card of the day is Anchored by the Priestess, and really seeing past that veil, really seeing beyond our everyday things, like the conversation that me and my wife had yesterday, where it's like, we in a good space, but we still got to see beyond this shit. Like, it's mandatory. Whatever space that you in, whether it's a mansion on the hills with, you know, 15 cars, see beyond that shit. Whether you sleeping in a cardboard box and you ain't got shit, see beyond that shit. See beyond it, you know. And the next card we got is the 6 of Swords. Science, or a holistic approach to life. Like, knowledge is power. Like, how are we gonna get beyond this shit? We gonna have to learn some shit. We gonna have to incorporate knowledge. Don't be afraid of knowledge. Like, be afraid of sitting your ass down and watching TV. Be so afraid of that as you is afraid of learning some shit, and you'll be all right. Believe me, trust me. Because we're cultivating this star energy. The astrology associated with the star is Aquarius. Y'all know I pull these cards at random, but you know, the cards never lie. Every time we do this thing, we do this shit every day, the cards have a message for us too. And it's really about, if you have an idea, if you have a goal, if you have an ambition, it's within you. My nigga, you gonna have to put some effort to that shit though. I promise you gotta put some effort to it. I promise you gotta work towards it. I promise your friends ain't gonna like you. I promise, you know, it might be some sleepless nights trying to get your project off the ground. I promise you might have to spend money on promoting yourself as opposed to, you know, going out to the club. But it's worth it though. It's worth it to be growing. Because you know, once you growing something, you actually living. You actually got something to look forward to. But we don't want to do this by ourselves though. I think the Knight of Wands really speaks to a uniting force, where the Knight in the Thoth Tarot is the king. And so, as a rule, we should only deal with passionate experiences and passionate people. If people want to be ambiguous and nonchalant and take it or leave it with you, then fuck them. I'm trying to have a passionate, present, fun, great situation. Like, Trump is the president, these fucking hurricanes and tornadoes, like, man, like, I'm not like fear like the world is coming to an end, but shit, what if it do? And we ain't even made no love, or we ain't even got excited or passionate about anything, or was even the conglomerate that was like, all right, we're together in this time of stress, or whatever the case may be. Like, we're not united in passion. We're united in obligation. We're united in ambiguity. We're united in tolerance. We're united in surface. Oh, you're beautiful. We make a cute couple. Like, we're united in that dumb shit, you know? And so virtue, or having virtue, or being virtuous, like, man, it's all about initiation. Like, being the person, like, I say thank you so much at work, because like I be so appreciative that people be teaching me information that I don't know. Like, I'll ask a question and they'll answer it, and I'll be like, thank you. Because in my line of work, you ask a conscious nigga a question, he come back at you with some riddles and some skills and like, what the hell? I just asked you how to get to the motherfucking store up the street. You talking about Sun Ra and Ptah, and the Egyptians didn't use directions. They used their pineal gland to get everywhere. And I'm just like, bruh, you way too deep, you know? So it's just like, being conscious, being aware. There is no conscious community. You're the conscious community. You set the tone by your relationships and the shit that you do within your relationships that represent a conscious community. You understand? Like, your community is conscious. There is no conscious community. Like, if you have a community of conscious individuals, what are y'all doing with this conscious information? Because 9 times out of 10, y'all having dreams, y'all having visions, y'all meeting up in a dream world, y'all imagining what life is going to be when y'all work together in a dream world. But what y'all doing? Going to the club, you know what I'm saying? Doing some stupid shit. Connect, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not really acting on the spiritual vision, or trying to use people within the group, you know, thinking that, you know, people is your goddamn servants and shit. And you ain't like, man, look, this shit crazy. The Empress, you know, is the guiding force. The Empress rules with the Princess. Like, the second card and the third card, these energies really work together, where you have your emotional level with the Priestess that can see beyond, and the Empress will actually create that energy. So these energies really work together in a sense where Venus in Aquarius, Mars is in the third decan, which is ruled by Venus, where we're talking about freedom. We're talking about air. I like Venus because she will take on whatever element that she's in. If Venus is in air, then she becomes air. If she's in earth, she becomes earth. If she's in water, she becomes water. If she's in fire, she becomes fire. Like, the Empress is so multi-dimensional and so can just change the world and change the planet by her, you know, adaptability. And that's why people interface and deal with the goddess or honor the Empress, because it's always the symbol, it's always the symbolism of, you know, wherever I'm at. Like say for instance, like a bomb ass relationship, right? You know, a bomb ass relationship when them niggas is like walking everywhere together, they on a bus together, you know what I'm saying? Like, they always together, and it'd be like, but y'all homeless though, like y'all sleeping on my couch. But it's like, they're in that relationship, so it don't matter. You only get that shit when you young, or when you like in your 40s or something. You don't get that shit when you think you hot to trot. Like, but when that love is like real and pure, it don't matter where you at. Like, you know, it's love where you don't matter. It don't care where you at, how you living, how you look. Like, I just love the dirt on the bottom of your toenails. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the Empress. And we all would want that kind of love in our life. We will all want to experience that life. But damn, to get to that level, oh Oh, it's so deep. It's so difficult. I just wanted to kind of bring light into what's happening throughout the spiritual world, bring some awareness to what's happening in the spiritual world. Today is one of the final days of Diwali or Deepavali. It's the Hindu festival of lights. But the Diwali symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. So this is a day to celebrate, all of the development, all of the energy that we've been building, all of the honoring that we've been doing. And now we're in a point, space, and time where, moving past November 7th, I want everybody to really work with setting intentions. And because I care so much, I'm going to put together a new moon meditation, and it's only going to be for my Patreon subscribers. So, for $1 a month, you might want to get on there because it's only going to be available for my Patreon subscribers. I've been doing research on the particular frequencies that I need to make a meditation video, the background music, everything is going to be on point, where like my mic, the particular filters, the plugins that I'm using. I'm going to put something together Wednesday afternoon for Wednesday evening for the new moon meditation. And I want people to begin to work with these new moons in a way of setting intentions, moving forward into the moon. Like, okay, I've started this intention on the 7th, by November 21st, I'm manifesting some shit. I'm realizing some shit, and the new moon meditation is going to be centered around anchoring yourself. And anchoring yourself, there are depths that we can get to that no man can get to because we are melanated beings on this planet. And if we stop shucking and jiving and dancing and acting and singing and really get to this work, really get to these meditations, like, so many people over time, like, what's a good guided meditation? And I'll be like, hell if I fucking know. Them shit suck. Like back in the days, I would really vibe off of Paul Santisi, Kelly Howell, and them was pretty much it. I used to have to go to the bookstore. I dropped like $150 on a guided meditation, like even before YouTube. Like Kevin Hogan, he put out like man, I've been on this meditation kick for so long that like that's my whole entire existence. Like everything that I do is a meditation. Like these daily energy readings, believe it or not, are meditations. You know what I'm saying? So be looking for that Wednesday evening, and moving forward, I think I'm gonna probably do more guided meditations. I'm gonna really keep it Patreon friendly, and begin to do more stuff. So like Patreon fam, I need y'all support. I need y'all input, and I ain't gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna do everything that y'all ask me to do, but I'm gonna pay attention to it though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to create more content for my Patreon subscribers and my Patreon subscribers alone, because they keep, like, you know what I'm saying, they keep this shit going, they keep this shit moving, and they really care. And then people don't, because like people delete their Patreons or whatever, that's good too, you know what I'm saying? Because even if I dwindle it down to 10 Patreon subscribers, then I know those 10 people is committed to developing themselves through spirituality, the occult, astrology, whatever. They just trying to find their goddamn soul and level up and reach the next point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everything is a meditation if you really look at it. Della Reese, she had one of her first musical groups was called the Meditation Sisters, and from that perspective, like, I was like, damn, they was talking about meditation back in the 40s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a thing. Like, you know, we have lost our way based upon, like, there is no, like, we all as universal melanated beings should collectively meditate and deal with the collective conscious and take over the planet. But we got little speckles and spats of individuals trying to do their part, which is cool. But if we are doing our part, let us realize that by doing our part, we're doing the part of millions, because we are all connected and there's no getting around it. Because when I see you in this love, you can't deny that shit. So, you know, let's move forward in prosperity, peace. Be beautiful today. Seek out beauty. Seek out truth. Understand that you are wealthy. You are prosperous. And prepare for these intentions that will set Wednesday evening. Drink some water. Clear your system out. Really look forward to the fact that you could change your reality. You understand what I'm saying? Like, change your reality, because we dealing with Scorpio. We dealing with a new moon of Scorpio, a powerful time, a powerful energy. So let's vibrate. Let's level up, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a wonderful day.
मैया शोक विनाशिनी, मैं